Hello everyone, it's been a minute, but welcome back to Blue Midwest Mysteries. I am your co-host, Percy number 6. Today we are missing my other co-host, Mr. MPS 2002. Instead, I brought somebody else. He's actually, at one time, unfortunately, a former host. He's our current vice president of the Thomas Winnerelli community. And he, like me, is a former TWRC champion. If you didn't guess it already, it's none other than Roman of Roman's TWR Empire. How are you, Roman?
I'm doing all right. It's good to be back. I've made it my triumphant return to the podcast
You really,
after like a year and a half. So
really
it's nice to
have.
be back.
That's crazy. You know, a year and a half. I can't believe it's been that long.
Yeah, the passage of time, as our good friend Damien would say, is crazy.
It really is. But here we are. It is the eve of summer. It's the end of May. School's out. Not that it matters to me anymore, but it does to you.
It does. I finished my first year of college.
How was it?
It was rough. It was a lot of work, but my second semester was easier, so I had it good that way.
But you're going for like the hardest major there is.
Yep, I'm studying engineering, so some big boy shit.
Yeah, you're kind of doing it to yourself, but oh well. So someday you'll be like, yeah, I guess it was worth it.
Yeah, maybe one day it'll work out.
Who
But
knows?
I mean, these days with college education and finding a job, you never know. So
That's true. That's true. Hey,
we will
maybe
cross that bridge when we get to it.
that's a good idea. And who knows? Maybe you'll travel the country once you're done, right?
That would be fun. I would be so down to do that.
There you go. Yeah, I mean, I see you were just traveling to Canada.
I was indeed.
Roman crossed the border.
I took a weekend off to go visit Ted and to perform some diplomatic relations with the president.
Well, he's not really the president. He's like the president's Roberto, currently at least.
Yeah, with Roberto. Me and Roberto, we
Oh yeah,
had
I see
some
what you mean.
diplomatic relations with Canadian Representative Ted.
There we go. How was it? Was it a success?
I'd say so.
That's
We
good.
helped come together to build the Tidna set, and it came together pretty good. So yeah, I'd say so.
There you go. Wow, look at that. Our president and current vice president making some moves.
Yeah, we also slept in the same bed. It was pretty cute.
That is cute. Man, sleeping together. You heard that here, folks. The president and vice president of our community, they're in bed with each other.
And a California king, might I add.
Oh, let's not go that far. It's just Roberto we're talking about. But
Well, how have you been doing? Any
you know,
exciting things happening to you?
I don't know, just also living the life. I got my graduation. I don't know if we even talked about that. We haven't done many videos or Blue Midwest Mysteries since I graduated, but did graduate college just like my other co-host at Mr. MPS 2002. We started this as college students. We are now former college students with degrees of our own, living our own lives, and I will tell you, going from just doing internships where it's like, okay, I'm starting this, and then there's a day when I'm no longer going to be doing this, to now having a job where it's like, I'm starting this, and it's up to me to decide when I'm done with this, is really weird.
Oh, I bet. I'm not ready for that.
No, it's, I mean, I guess, like, you can, even if you get, like, a doctorate, like, you could always go back to school, right? And, like, I definitely didn't get that. So, like, I could go back to school and then start it all over, but, like, it's weird to think, like, I could potentially do this for the next, like, 30, 40 years. Like, not necessarily the job I'm doing, but just working.
Right.
And then
Yeah, you're kind of on to full-time
yeah.
big boy life now.
Yeah, then maybe 30, 40 years from now, my co-host and I will be doing weekly episodes again.
And you're finally retired.
Yes, we'll be what will that be, like 30 years from now? So it'll be like 2052. Well, let's say 2055. In 2055, Mr. MPS 2002 and I will be doing weekly episodes of Blue Midwest Mysteries. Mark that on your calendar, boys and girls.
Yeah, mark their words. I'm sure it'll come through, like every other thing on this channel.
Yeah. Even Roberto's records hasn't been uploading or I guess they don't really upload. Has been streaming. They haven't been streaming like they used to.
I know. Roberto is really letting us down, letting the channel down.
Unfortunately, these 2 terms he's been president, I'm kind of used to being letting down by him.
I guess that's fair.
Wow.
Yeah, I think we need a new administration in charge. I mean, working with them is great and all, but it can be very frustrating.
So what are you saying, Roman? If you don't want him, who would you want instead?
I personally, considering how much frustration I've had to deal with during his term serving as his vice president, I think I would make a great candidate for next president, actually.
Wow. Are we going to potentially see a President Roberto versus Vice President Roman in our November elections?
I think it's very possible.
That's crazy.
I can't confirm anything, but I think it's very possible.
Now, I was watching back my Peter Sam crossover review with Mr. MPS 2002, and as I watched it back, I noticed in the middle of our review there's this propaganda that played, and correct me if I'm wrong, but it looked like the president had you at gunpoint?
I can neither confirm nor deny that statement.
Wow. I don't know about you, but I think that speaks volumes to how our president has been.
Yes, I think I cannot comment on that certain situation, but I think in general that there have been some very questionable things going on in this administration. I think it is time for some change around here.
I've been saying that for almost 2 years now, and I'm happy to hear our own vice president, who's closer to the situation than anybody else, is also seeing that.
You hear that, guys? I got approval from person number 6.
That's true. Former, I guess I don't have, the accolades like vice president or president, but former champion, that's got to mean something.
Oh, yeah. That's my first endorsement.
There you go. An endorsement by Percy number 6 for...
What more could I want?
I don't think anything. Probably to be president, That's probably what you want.
Possibly.
More than my endorsement. But I wonder, he's not here. I haven't been hiding him in my closet, but I wonder if my co-host was here, would he be endorsing you or Roberto?
I would hope me, but we'll have to hear from him.
That'll be something I bring up the next time him and I are doing a podcast together.
Please do. I encourage you to.
I do. I will. Just for you, Mr. Vice President. So that's good. It sounds like you're putting out some feelers. It sounds like there's a chance Roman's TW Empire will be on the ballot in 2022.
Very true. Yes.
That's good to hear. So, how's that channel of yours? Are you gonna upload again?
Planning on it. Yes. I was just telling him before we started recording that I started filming again today. So yeah, I mean not much really, but I'm always slow at making videos. So
that's good to hear you're working. I mean, I know you. Yes. You just did a little unboxing video, but besides that, like, when was the last time you filmed?
Well, I filmed that shit in January and then March.
Oh, man.
So that's not recent by any means. Like, I filmed that, and I filmed that Metallic Engines unboxing I did.
Yeah.
I did that in March as well. And then besides that, the last thing I filmed was my Christmas remake in December. So yeah, I haven't really done anything.
Wow. Well, it's definitely harder when you're like away from home.
Yeah, for sure. But honestly, it's not really any worse than I'd say my usual uploading schedule was, because I don't know. Something about the early part of the year, I never really had much motivation to make any content or
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I don't know. Well, I guess part of it is because like my film set is in my basement and it's like cold down there in the winter, so
That's true.
it's just not very it's not the environment you really want to go into, a cold damp basement to make Thomas videos. I'd rather just, not do that. Like it's not the best excuse, but honestly that is definitely part of it. Yeah.
I mean, that's fair. Maybe someday when you're, out of college, you got your, I don't know, big boy apartment, I guess. Like, then you can
I
like
could
have
film there.
a whole room dedicated just to filming.
Oh, I would love that. I wish, like, I'm very jealous of people who, because I've known a lot of people, um, just in the community in general, like Will Politeski, for example. He films in his room. Like, I guess technically I could do that, but like I film with a big ass table and a sky
Hmm.
backdrop and all that, and it's like a very permanent setup. I couldn't do that in my room. I don't have the room.
Yours
But
is
like,
definitely a fancy setup. Like I know, like when Roberto did it, I think he filmed in his room too, but he just like threw the table in the corner and put some lights around it, and bam, it filmed.
yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, that's the thing. Like, if it wasn't hard, I would do it, but it just is not feasible. But I'm very jealous of that. I wish I could do it in my room, because like, that I'd be that I'd like see the freaking sunlight all day when I do it instead of being stuck in the damn basement. Like, it's not the most
Hmm.
it's not the best mentally stabling environment. I don't know what I'm trying to say, but like, you know
Yeah,
what I mean? Like,
yeah,
just being in the basement all day is not the best for the brain. So,
yeah. That's fair. That's fair. You talking about all that, it made me think of a story. I don't think I've ever said it on here or in general because it's so old. But when I first made my channel, I was going on vacation with my family. We were going out east, and I was making my layout because I always filmed in my basement. I filmed on the
nice.
carpet in my basement, but I was making my layout in my bedroom.
Ooh,
And
switching
yeah,
things up.
yeah. So this was before I made any videos. So I was gonna make it in my room, and like I just started. I didn't get too far into it, but I started building the layout, and then we went on vacation, and I came back, and our dog like pooped in all of our bedrooms.
Oh,
So I was like, I'll just do it in the basement.
yeah, I don't blame you after that.
I haven't thought about that in years. That's crazy. Oh my
That
goodness.
is an unfortunate story. I feel so bad.
Like, and my carpet was blue. I guess it still is. It's blue
Ooh,
carpet, so it would have been. I mean, I obviously didn't leave a mark because like I haven't thought about it in literal years. But it's crazy to think like, man, I could have been like one of those I film in my room type of people. But nope, I was filming in the basement.
your dog had to fucking ruin it.
I know. Ah,
Man,
hate to see it.
you really do.
Yeah.
But it shaped you into the man that you are today. So,
I guess so. Now I just like, oh man, like I started filming my current season like before COVID, and I still haven't uploaded all of it.
sounds like you gotta get cracking on that, son. How many episodes you have left?
A lot. like
Ooh.
like I think I got to. So I filmed, like, if you look at my channel on my about section, the episode titles that I have listed, I filmed all of them. Uh, I think I still have to release 3 of those, and then I still have to finish the second half of that season. And
Yeah, you
like,
have a lot of TBDs on there.
I do, and like when I was first like starting this, like I like outlines, like even like when I would do speech in like school, like I like to speak. I think doing YouTube helps. So like I've always liked to speak, And I always hate doing outlines, or not outlines, I always hate actually like writing a speech word for word, because then you're like staring at them the entire time. And okay, I'm going on a tangent with this.
You
My
like
point,
improving better.
I do. So like I always outline my stuff. The only thing I actually do like write word for word is my scripts for like reviews and crossovers. I think it's harder to do it. It's all the editing I have to do for that is just a lot harder to make up my own thing. But so for this, like I outlined the entire season how I wanted it. I think I may have even outlined it episode for episode, or for sure I have like the main storyline points I want to go over, and I haven't even got to the second half of that season for episode titles, let alone filming it.
YouTube Music Premium. Oops.
And like I don't know like I mean, I'm sure someday I'll finish the season, but I don't know how long someday is going to be.
Yeah, some days that is a loaded word.
Well, like I have a couple videos I want to release this summer when it comes to like the review side of things, and then of course my anniversary when I always do like some type of a review. So it's like, oh, I can't really like that's gonna be what I dedicate my YouTube time to. So like maybe after September I'll start like working on this thing again. I feel like part of it too, if I just like edit and upload the last 3 episodes I've made, then I'll be like, okay, I gotta do the second half of the season, but who knows?
Until you get there, you're just in limbo. I get what you mean though, because like what I'm filming right now is still the Duke remakes, and like obviously I released a Bulldog remake last summer, and I said in the description if people bothered to read it, which I'm not expecting you to, but like it was like a 5-year project at that point, something I had started in 2016, then I went and redid in 2018, or at least part of it, and then didn't finish. But then I finished last year. And the same goes for the other 3 Duke stories. Like I wanted to do all of them together, and like just other projects kept pushing them back and back. Like like in 2018, I wanted to just film all of them, but I just didn't have time that summer. And then going into school that fall, I just didn't really feel like it. Slash, didn't have the time. So like then I was gonna be like, okay, I'll come back to it the next summer. But then I did Dirty Objects remake, which was for the early years collab, and then I was like, okay, the next summer after that, and then I just did a different remake. I did a Something Fishy remake, and like that just took so much of the time during the summer that I was like, okay, I'll do it the next summer, and then I did one of them last summer, but not all of them. So we'll see how far I get this summer. I'd like to say that I'm gonna finish the other 3, being Grand Puff, Sleeping Beauty, and You Can't Win, but I don't know. Like, I'll do what I can do.
I mean, you usually probably do like a 2 remakes a year. So like on the pace you're on, like you should finish by the end of the next year.
We will hope, but that is yet to be determined. I just realized we've talked a lot about Thomas on this episode.
I know, but it's like videos, so like it's like half counts, you know.
Fair enough.
That's how I look at it. We're not getting in the show, partially because it's like, what do I talk about, you know? And that's not like a hypothetical where we get into it. It's like we're not gonna talk about Thomas. We
Of
got
course.
we already got. You're right. We got way too close talking about our videos and our channels.
Yeah, it got kind of scary for a minute.
It really did, man. So my co-host always likes talking about movies. I don't really watch movies though. So TV shows. Have you watched any TV shows, Roman?
Uh, Recently, I haven't really. But I've been wanting to watch. Do you know? Do you know Regular Show? That
Yes.
cartoon.
Yes.
Do you know how, like, the creator of that, J.G. Quintel, he's gone on to make like an adult kind of version of that cartoon. It's called Close Enough. It's like same kind of genre is Family Guy, where it's like a bunch like raunchy humor type shit. Um, but it's like a lot more competent than Family Guy. Uh, like they released the first season of that in 2020, and then they released one last year, and then there's a third season that came out like a month or two ago, and I've been wanting to watch that, but I haven't. I guess partially because I wanted to wait, and then partially because I don't know. I've been wanting to watch that is the point, but I have not gotten to it yet. So that's something I want to watch, but that is something I've not watched yet.
I feel you. I mean, there's like, when like I watched the show on Netflix, Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt, and the last season I think came out in like 2017, and I still haven't watched it.
Oof.
So wait, 20? Yeah, so it's been 5 years, and I think one of these days I'll probably get to it. But I like have a list of shows I watch. Like literally, I've had that list since like 2014. I think I made it, and like I'm
Damn.
finally. I still have shows on there from like when I first made the list that I haven't got to.
Wow.
Like I'm watching Buffy the Vampire Slayer. That's been on the list, and I still. That's why I'm trying to watch a lot more TV this year because like I just want to get the list done with, and it's hard. Like an example of one, I watched the show Due South, and our good friend Oliver Duck. Years ago, we were talking, and I was whatever shows I was watching at the time. I was he was like, "Oh, you should really watch Due South." Blah blah blah. I'm like, "All right, Ted, I'll put it on my list." So I watched it like at the end of 2021, and I told him he was like so happy. He's like, "You promised you would watch it, and you did." I'm like,
Can confirm that did happen. I remember that conversation.
like I'm not kidding. It was probably like, I mean, probably like 2018 or something. I put it on the list, so it took like 3 years, but I finally got to it, Ted.
That's all that counts in the end. In the end
That's
of it.
that's true. Oh well. Any exciting things planned for this summer besides probably work?
Uh, well, I'm planning on going to the beach as usual.
Oh yeah, I guess you're on. How close are you to the ocean?
And not very close, like 5 hours, but I
Uh,
mean, better than you. A
I
lot
got the
better,
Mississippi
actually.
River.
I
That does
guess if
not
you
count.
count that.
That does not count. But yeah, I mean, you at least like, I mean, that's not a day drive, but you can at least be like, ah, we'll go spend a weekend at
Yeah,
the beach. Like that's solid.
yeah, that's
Especially
the
Airbnb,
plan.
you can just pick an Airbnb and you're good to go.
My mom doesn't even. My mom doesn't even know Airbnbs exist. She doesn't know how that works.
So what do you do? Do you just stay at like a hotel?
Yeah.
Uh, I mean, hotels are okay. They're not terrible.
No, they're not terrible, but definitely with meetups in the past couple years, like having to rent Airbnbs for them, like it just shows how superior they are. Like you are so much less restricted in what you could do in the space that you have and all that.
Oh, for sure. Especially like yeah, when you get like large groups like we have for meetups, it's like I mean I wasn't at like the old meetups like the first big ones back in the day, but I know they stayed at
Mm-hmm.
like a motel, and I mean obviously they enjoyed it, but when they or no they never switched to Airbnbs. I don't. What did you stay? You went to that second one, right? In
Yeah,
2019.
we stayed at a hotel then too.
Oh, you did.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, so you really know then what compared to hotels to Airbnbs, which one do you like?
Well, definitely Airbnb is better because it's like you don't. Not everybody gets split up then, because like every night when it gets late, everybody would go back to the hotel and then we go back to our rooms individually. So we'd all split off into groups. And that's just, I mean, it's cool, but it's also not as fun, I don't think, because, everybody's off in their own subgroup in their room. Whereas in an Airbnb, like, if you need to get away from people, you can go into the other room, but it's like everybody is there in the same building. So it's like, it's just a lot more personal, I guess. Just works. It works better for meetups, definitely.
Yeah, I mean, I like for meetups, it's definitely Airbnbs. Like, there's times where the hotel vibe's nice. Like, I can't really think of specific examples. I guess like if you were going like out of town for like a weekend with like your family and it wasn't like a vacation type of an out of town deal, like I think a hotel is a pretty solid option.
Yeah.
Uh, but like in general, like if I were to go on a vacation with like friends or family now, I'd 100% be looking for an Airbnb now.
And the thing is, and I mean, I guess it depends on the place that you're going, but a lot of the time they're cheaper also, so that's definitely a plus.
Yeah, yeah. I think they almost always are, especially like when you split it up like between everybody.
Yeah,
It's almost guaranteed you'll be paying less individually than if you were to individually paid for your hotel.
no doubt.
Man, that sounds like a ringing endorsement for Airbnb from yourself and myself.
Not sponsored.
Yeah, we're not sponsored by
They should.
Airbnb.
They
Yeah,
should.
they definitely can. Enter Blue Midwest Mysteries at checkout for 7% off your next Airbnb. We are not sponsored, but use our sponsor link.
Yeah, that's a
Link in the
real
description.
that's a real awkward percentage off. Don't you think it would be more realistic if it was like 10 or 15% instead of 7?
Well, see, we negotiated, right? Because like they're like
Right.
5%. We're like, we won't do anything less than 20. And then they're like, okay, 5.5. Like, how about 10? And then eventually it was like 7. It's like, okay, so we got you guys an extra 2%. No need to thank me and
Yeah.
that.
He worked hard.
I did. A lot of sleepless nights trying to get that extra 2% for you guys. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, that just shows his dedication to this channel.
Yeah,
Especially
that's
the fact that he's about to put up 2 uploads for you guys, and no one else has put anything up in
That's
2
true.
months.
That's true. I mean, for one, does that surprise me? Look at our president. He's run a poor administration for almost 2 years now. I can't be surprised it took him forever to do another Roberto's records. But yes, I do like that segue because this is not the last time you'll be hearing from myself and Roman of Roman's CWR Empire. A week from today, we're going to be back at it with a show that I haven't done in over a year. Percy's Ever Present Past.
Correct, and I will be the guest.
He will. We have not filmed it yet, but I guarantee you it will be good.
Can confirm it will be good.
Yeah. See, like like that's such a ringing endorsement from something that hasn't even happened yet at the time of this filming. Like, I don't know what's gonna happen, but I'll watch it.
Yeah, that's all the confidence you need.
Yeah.
Don't even worry about it. It'll be good.
So let's as we finish up, let's recap. I gave an endorsements for quite a few things today. I gave an endorsement for your presidential campaign in November, if it happens, of course.
Yeah. It's a big
Yes,
if.
that is an if. It's only May. We just feelers. We can't just assume anything yet. So I gave you endorsement for that. I gave an endorsement for Airbnb, and of course your 7% off links in the description. I gave an endorsement for our Percy's Ever Present Past that is yet to be filmed, but will be out in a week from today. Is there anything else I need to endorse?
I don't believe so.
Maybe
endorse MPS to bring him back.
Yeah, I endorse bringing back Mr. MPS 2002 for a second time. Can I not endorse something? Can I not endorse Roberto's presidential
Yeah, let's
potential?
unendorse Roberto.
Yeah, I unendorse him. I actually endorsed him 2 years in a row, and for 2 years in a row I've regretted that decision. So not
Man.
making it a third.
That was a mistake.
Yeah, but yeah. I guess I've made two mistakes in my life, and those two mistakes were endorsing Roberto for president.
Yeah, and I mean, I guess when you think about it in the grand scheme of things, you're doing pretty good if those are your only two mistakes.
That's a good point, and that's why I've endorsed you for president. If you run.
Thank you.
If you run. We
Well,
don't.
if appreciate that, if I decide to run.
Well, you're welcome, Roman. But on that good note, we'll see you guys next week. Roman, is there anything else you want to say?
I would like to say that I'm trying to think of something funny. I got nothing. That's it. Enjoy the other upload, guys. See you next time.
Yeah, goodbye. I don't even know what song's playing right now. I don't know. Is it the old song? New song? We'll find out. Have a good day. Bye.